Hi everyone, and welcome back to Shabbat Shalom with Sophie Klein. I want to start today with a truth I think most of us already know deep down. The world is noisy. And I don't just mean traffic noise or phones ringing. I mean the constant swirl of things demanding our attention. Work deadlines, school emails, laundry piles, breaking news alerts, the mental grocery list we carry in our heads. It's like living in a house where every room has a different radio station playing. You can hear it all at once, but none of it makes sense. In all that noise, finding space to breathe, to reflect, to just be, can feel almost impossible. And yet, that's exactly what our souls crave. We all need a place where we can hit pause, not just to rest our bodies, but to let our minds and hearts catch up. Sacred space isn't something we have to wait for someone else to give us. It's something we can create, right where we are, even if the world around us keeps buzzing. Let me tell you a story from my own life. A few weeks ago, I decided I was going to have what I called a perfect, quiet morning. My plan was simple. Get the girls off to school, make myself a big mug of tea, sit by the window with my journal, and enjoy an hour of slow, quiet time before starting work. I pictured the sunlight coming in at just the right angle, a cozy blanket around my shoulders, maybe even a candle flickering in the corner. You know, one of those Instagram-worthy mornings that makes you feel like you have your life completely together. And for about 7 minutes, it was exactly that. Then the dog started barking at the delivery truck outside. My phone buzzed with a reminder about an overdue bill. I suddenly remembered we were out of milk for tomorrow's breakfast. Then my husband called from work because he couldn't find an important file. And just as I hung up with him, my youngest daughter's school called to say she had forgotten her lunch. So there I was, standing in my kitchen, holding a half-drunk cup of tea, my journal still closed on the table, the candle now burned down to a little puddle of wax, wondering why I ever thought I could have a moment of peace in this house. I almost gave up and told myself, maybe next week. But instead, I tried something different. I took the forgotten lunch to school, came home, and before doing anything else, before putting my keys down, before opening the mail, before checking my phone, I sat on the floor in the hallway. Yes, the hallway. No windows, no pretty background, just me leaning against the wall next to the coat rack. And for some reason, it felt like the perfect place to disappear for a few minutes. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, and another. I could still hear the faint hum of the fridge in the kitchen, the neighbor's lawnmower outside, and the dog pacing in the next room. But I didn't move. I didn't scroll. I didn't start a list in my head. I just sat. I noticed the way my back felt against the wall, the way my breath slowed down after a minute, the way the noise around me seemed to fade, even though it hadn't actually stopped. It wasn't long, maybe 3 minutes before the dog barked again, but it was enough. Enough to feel like I had stepped outside of the noise for a moment. Enough to feel like I had drawn a small circle around myself and said, "This space is mine, just for now." And that's when it hit me. Sacred space doesn't have to be beautiful or planned or long. Sometimes it's the corner of your couch after the kids are in bed. Sometimes it's the driver's seat of your car before you walk into the grocery store. Sometimes it's the hallway floor. It's not about where you are. It's about what you decide that moment will be. For. That morning taught me something important. If I wait for perfect conditions to create a sacred moment, I might wait forever. But if I claim it, right in the middle of the mess, I can find a little peace almost anywhere. And when I do, I walk back into the noise calmer, softer, and just a little more myself. That hallway moment reminded me of something I've learned again and again. Sacred space is less about the environment and more about the choice. We live in a world that will never stop asking for our attention. The laundry will never be done. The inbox will never be completely empty. The to-do list will always grow faster than we can cross things off. If we wait for the noise to stop, we may never find the quiet. But when we choose to set aside even a few minutes to step out of that constant pull, we create something powerful. A sacred space doesn't have to be quiet, though that's wonderful when we can get it. It doesn't have to be beautiful or tidy, and it doesn't have to be long. It just has to be intentional. It's the intention that transforms an ordinary spot into a little sanctuary. It's the way you decide, this moment is different from the others. This is my pause. In Jewish life, there's a long tradition of setting apart moments in time and space as holy. We do it every week with Shabbat, marking a boundary between ordinary days and sacred time. We do it when we gather around a table and bless our food, transforming a simple meal into an act of gratitude. But these moments aren't reserved for synagogues or holidays. They can happen anywhere, at any time. They can be as simple as taking 3 deep breaths before you walk into the grocery store, or pausing on your porch to notice the evening sky. Rabbi Mark has a saying that I think about often. Holiness doesn't only live in special places. It lives in the moments you decide to make special. That's what we're talking about here. You don't have to travel to a quiet retreat center to find sacred space. You can make it in the middle of your kitchen, with the kids laughing in the next room, or in your car before you head into work. So how do we actually do this in a world that's buzzing around us? Here are some ideas you can try this week. The corner of calm method. Choose one small spot in your home. A chair by the window, a patch of floor, even a single step outside your door, that you claim as yours for stillness. When you sit or stand there, you're declaring to yourself, this is where I pause. You don't need to decorate it or make it perfect. It's the act of returning to it that matters. Anchor objects. Keep something simple nearby. A candle, a stone you picked up on a walk, a cup of tea, that signals to your mind and body, this is my time. It doesn't have to be religious. It just has to be something you associate with slowing down and paying attention. Micro breaks. Even 1 or 2 minutes can make a difference. Try closing your eyes in the car before you turn the key, or taking a long sip of water before your next meeting. Let it be a full moment. Not something you rush through, but something you fully inhabit. Digital pause. Put your phone in another room for the few minutes you've carved out. Without a screen calling for your attention, you might be surprised at how spacious those minutes feel. Sound reset. If the world feels too loud, introduce a new sound. Gentle music, a short prayer, or even just the hum of your own breath, and let it fill your awareness for a short while. The beauty of creating sacred space is that it works both ways. It gives you rest in the moment, and it also changes how you move through the rest of your day. After those few minutes in the hallway, I noticed I was calmer making lunch. I was gentler with my words when the dog barked again. I didn't rush as much while answering emails. That little pause didn't erase the noise, but it gave me the strength to carry it differently. Here's my invitation to you this week. Find one pocket of time, even if it's just 2 or 3 minutes, and claim it as sacred. Maybe it's while your coffee brews in the morning. Maybe it's before you open the front door at night. Maybe it's on a park bench while you wait to pick someone up. Wherever it is, let it be a space where you step out of the rush and into yourself. Because when we carve out sacred space, even in a noisy world, we're doing more than just catching our breath. We're reminding ourselves that we are more than our schedules, our to-do lists, and our responsibilities. We're giving our souls a place to rest, even briefly. And in that rest, we often find clarity, gratitude, and a sense of being anchored, no matter how much is happening around us. Rabbi Mark always says that when we choose to make a moment holy, we're saying to the world, I see you, but I'm not letting you rush me past my own life. I think that's something worth practicing. And the more we do, the more we realize that these little sanctuaries we create are not luxuries. They're lifelines. Shabbat Shalom.